Bonjour tout le monde.
Good morning, everyone. I call this public meeting to order.
We are meeting in public at the request of the Public Accounts Committee. We've been scheduled to sit in camera. Pursuant to the standing orders, members are attending in person in the room and remotely using the Zoom application. We're going to have a discussion concerning Report 8 of the 2023 report, the Benefits Delivery and Modernization Program. Monsieur Lemire, votre parole, s'il vous plaît.
Mr. Lemire, over to you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you to all committee members for accepting this public meeting. The Benefits Delivery Modernization Program was subject to meetings by this committee. If you'll recall the timeline, work had begun during the last Parliament, and in September we held 2 meetings. We approved the report, which is available on the website from the 23rd of September, and it was made public on the 9th of October. And custom is that in this type of report there are recommendations, and there were 6 of them. Just to give you some context, we're talking about the Benefits Modernization Program, and so we're going to, in 2017, the government approved the Old Age Security Modernization, 1.65 billion, and according to the score that was given in June during question period, well, there's something extremely off since there's a 6.6 billion shortfall. And why is this currently relevant? Well, there's information according to which many seniors haven't received their benefits, and they find themselves with no income, and they count on this money to make ends meet. And in my riding office, I've received reports like this, so I assume it involves many Canadian seniors who are already vulnerable because of this IT situation. So why is this appointment? Well, there's been a cost overrun, and the program SACLIC in Quebec was subject to an inquest because of cost overruns. And here we're talking about 10 times more of an overrun. So I think it's absolutely important that we take a look at this in more detail. And our seniors are not going to receive this money in increases to their benefits. The second thing, this program was supposed to be around until 2030.
Qu'il peut y avoir encore énormément de ratés.
And there may be many other people who won't get their benefits and they miss things. And so after old age security, there's also the employment insurance and the whole benefit system for CPP. So we're quite concerned by the possibility of seeing Phoenix 2.0 in this area. So this is very much a concern. So the CURAM program has had cost overruns, and this was part of the questions that I had asked the department representatives. There was a report from the Auditor General in 2015 on this subject because there at this time in Ontario there are already red flags, but we were told that we hadn't any problems with CURAM, so we went forward with them anyway, and then there have been all kinds of problems since then. In 2023, the Auditor General tabled a report, and our committee, the Public Accounts Committee, took a look at these particular cost overruns. So I'd like to get back to the work of our committee. A report was tabled in the House. It contained 6 recommendations, including, and there was a data limit, the 31st of January 2026. And that was the first question I asked to the clerk in our in-camera meeting. So I'll ask it again to the clerk. Have we received these documents? And the answer was no. So I believe that there was a breach of procedure and our parliamentary privilege was not respected. I understand that it's difficult to get this data, but a government who's been managing a program for more than 8 years should have these data, and they should be up to date. And one recommendation, if I take the first one, and ESDC on January 31st must provide to the Public Accounts Committee detailed estimates on this program, as well as information from the revised viability analysis and the implementation calendar. I also added 2 recommendations. I won't read all the recommendations, and I just like to get this information as soon as possible because it's very much relevant to the public. Recommendation 6, that by the 31st of January 2026, ESDC provide the Standing Committee on Public Accounts with a contingency plan for the launch of the platform to avoid a situation where people are without income. We're talking about senior citizens who may have problems with these digital systems, and given the cost of life and its increases, this can have tragic consequences on seniors who are calling us more and more often and who are having difficulty making these calls. So this contingency plan is, in my opinion, an emergency with respect to our ability to meet the needs of these people who are having trouble with the system. So there have been problems with benefits. There's problems with the explosion of costs. And now the third failure is that we didn't receive the information we need. And I believe that our parliamentary privilege hasn't been adhered to. Thank you, Mr. Lemire. Mr. Detel. Thank you, Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank and congratulate Mr. Lemire, a colleague from Abitibi, for the fact that he has raised the fact that we as parliamentarians have the right to access documents, and these documents should have been provided at the end of January. It's now February 2nd. The documents haven't yet been delivered. So, at a parliamentary level, there's been a breach. And so this needs to be addressed as quickly as possible. But beyond a parliamentary practice, there's also the human side of things. Because what we're talking about, these are benefits provided to seniors. And regardless of our political stripe, we're all very much aware of the fragile situation that our seniors are living. For many of them, this is their only source of income during the later years of their lives. And out of respect for everything they have done to build our country, to build the wealth of our country, this is the least that we can do to make sure that these people have a pension provided to them at the right time according to the commitments made by the government. And this is not happening. And so that brings up another point beyond this parliamentary breach and beyond these serious human problems for those who are supposed to receive these benefits. Once again, the government is incapable of managing these IT programs. Some systems have been around for 30, 40, 50 years. The government House leaders said that these are old things that need to be changed, but it's been 10 years that these people have been around, so they've had the time to modernize things. And let me remind you, Chair, that these cost overruns are enormous, and as the guarantors of public funds, we can't allow them. And this is not a unique situation. Every time there's some kind of IT program,
Parce qu'on pense.
well, we think that it's over, but then it just keeps starting up again year after year. And so a question that I ask myself as a citizen, do big businesses, banks, people who have millions of customers, do they also face these same challenges, these inflationary pressures that are enormous when it comes to providing IT programs, or this whole season ticket practice that we're seeing with cost overruns? My last point, Chair, let us recall that Phoenix was an enormous burden for hundreds of thousands of Canadians. Let me remind you that Phoenix, when it was being prepared, 3 times the government in power at the time, and well, it was a conservative government, the alarm bells were sounded 3 times. The ministers at the time stopped the exercise in order to revise it. And when Canadians spoke in 2015 and when a new majority government was elected, the minister in question, who was conservative, mentioned to their successor to be very careful and to not hesitate to stop the exercise if ever there was a problem. But that didn't happen. And I remember it very well because I was finance critic at the time. And we knew that no one was able to figure out exactly when Phoenix got the green light. So no one was responsible. And there was a parliamentary committee at the time, and people were here, public servants were here, and they identified 3 people that had a role to play. And I recall that this public servant told me, Mr. Deltel, these public servants aren't responsible. And the Auditor General has just said that in their document. So we're not trying to do anything partisan here. We just want to make sure that our seniors have access to the benefits that they're owed. And as managers of public funds, well, every time there's any kind of major change at the IT level, well, we all need to be very careful to learn from the errors of the past. And unfortunately, we find today that we haven't learned much. Thank you, Mr. Dettel.
Confirm with the clerk that we have not received any response back?
No.
Okay. This is important, and I would suggest that we send a letter to the department requesting the information with a very short time frame, because as you've mentioned, both of you mentioned, they've had ample time.
Thank you. Oui, Monsieur Lemire. Puis après,
Yes, Mr. Lemire. And then I'd like to say a few things. Thank you, Chair. This file brings up a number of important things. And there's recommendation 5 that was tabled, that by the 31st of January 2026, ESDC provide the Standing Committee on Public Accounts a breakdown of the total estimates for the 2017 to 2025 fiscal years and the expenses committed to in 2024, and also the most recent data. It would be nice to have the data from 2025 by cost type and for internal salaries, professional services, as well as their travel costs, IT, technology, Shared Services Canada costs, and sales tax. I'll give you an example as to why it's important, in my opinion, to have these data, because on page 21 in the French version of the report, Appendix A, you'll see table A1, where there are travel costs of over $48 million. So nearly $50 million in cost overruns through travel costs. I don't think this has been caused by inflation, despite Minister McKinnon's arrogance in saying that it just involved a few seniors and there were just a few technological problems. Well, it's these kind of expenses that we need detail on, because at the end of the day, it is our citizens who are directly affected by the lack of service, but also the explosion of costs. Thank you.
merci beaucoup. So,
Thank you.
to take for if we feel that if the committee feels there's been a breach of privilege, what I'm going to do today is heed Ms. Yip's advice. Monsieur Lemire, vous êtes absolument correct.
Mr. Lemire, you're absolutely right. Deadlines are very serious. Mr. Deltel supports you on this parliamentary point.
I know just moving this meeting in public and hearing these direct concerns from parliamentarians will set off a chain of reactions in the department. So I'm going to heed Ms. Yip's recommendation that we ask the clerk to send a correspondence to the department immediately, looking for that information. And if we do not have it by the end of the week, we will pick this up again Monday, and at which point I will move that or recommend we begin the process to report to the House that there has been a breach of parliamentary privilege. So that is my recommendation and ruling here. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting again. We're going to go back into to camera. Si vous avez des commentaires, Monsieur Lemire, oui, je vais vous.
If you've got comments, Mr. Lemire, I'll pass you the floor. Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask you a question as well. And on page 35 in the French version of the report, there's a request for an answer provided to the government pursuant to the standing orders. And normally it's a 40-day timeline. So since October 9th, this 40-day period has expired. So what are the consequences if we haven't gotten answers from the government within this 40-day window? The deadline for the government has not yet expired, as it's February 6th. And I believe you have the attention of the government.
Has not passed yet, and I think you've got their total attention. So I expect that information will come. If it doesn't come, we'll pick it up at the same time. Everyone's been warned now. So look, these are important exercises. I think is important to ensure that our rights as parliamentarians are always respected. So I thank you, Mr. Lemire, for bringing this forward today, and I appreciate you supporting me on the next moves here to get this information as quickly as possible, and we'll pick it up if we don't receive it.
Merci beaucoup.
This part of the meeting is now adjourned. We're going to go back in camera to pick up the work we were scheduled to do. Thank you. And please don't go far. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Thank you.